down your scope. You have to be able to blend it into your design. So that's. Let me check if Mr. Yakubu. Did you get that question? Did you get your answer? Right, sir.
Yes, 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 ma. Thank you, ma.
Uh, so who else has a question for me? I think Mr. Yakubu is here. Thank God. Mr. Yakubu, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah.
All right. So you have your class. I beg to disappear now. You can go ahead.
All right. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I trust you had a great day. Now, my sincere apologies for being late. Please do confirm you can hear me. All right. Thank you. All right. So tonight, we are looking at interaction design. Let me share my screen. All right, do confirm it as my screen. If it. All right, thank you. Okay, so tonight we'll be looking at interaction design and see. The truth is, interaction design is a course on its own. It's a very broad topic, so it's a course on its own. But due to the scope of this structure of this class, it's needed for you to have a basic understanding of interaction design since you are building a product. So it's very important you have a basic understanding of it because it has to do with interaction and how um, your pages or your screens are being linked together, and it has to do with animations too. Understand? So what's interaction design? Interaction design is about designing how user interacts with a website, a mobile app, or basically digital products. You understand? That's what interaction design is all about. Is how users interact with your product. So you just see it as an interaction between a user and a product. That is, it involves the elements and the aesthetic of the product, the motion, the sound, the space, and many more. You understand? So it focuses on making this interaction smooth, intuitive, and enjoyable. So basically, interaction design makes your product intuitive, enjoyable, and what it desirable. So it's all about how users click, swipe, scroll, or type. Do you understand? So all these things are being embedded in interaction design. It has to do with interaction, basically. Do you understand? So the goal of interaction design is to make all these actions that I called earlier, the swiping, the clicking, the scrolling, the typing. So it makes all this action easy and natural. You understand? Whereby user click a certain button and it's what there's an interaction, there's an action afterwards. Do you understand? It's all about maybe a user want to fill a form and it's click the form. It shows that okay, it's ready to click. You understand? In a compressive manner or someone a user types an what is it called, typed what is not an incorrect, a user filled an incorrect details, and there's an action that pops up telling the user that he or she has what filled in a wrong details, and giving the user an action to do what, to do the right thing. So all these, they are feedbacks, and it has to do with interaction design. You understand? So interaction design makes sure every action feels smooth, predictable, and helpful. You understand? It makes the action feel predictable and helpful. Helpful in the sense that after they complete an action, there's a kind of message that comes up to let them know that their action is successful, or their action as there is unsuccessful, and they need to do A, B, and C, or a certain thing. To understand? So predictable in the sense that whereby they see a kind of a button in the home page, and they know that in the next page it has the same feel and color. Do you understand? So it makes it predictable for them that okay, this is the right button to click. Do you understand? And it makes it feel smooth. Do you understand? They don't have to encounter a kind of frustration while clicking, while interacting with your product. Do you get that now? All right. Thank you. So let's move forward. So this class will be kind of a quick one, and God willing, we have understanding. So let's move to the key principles of interaction design. So there are three key principles of interaction designs, and these are feedbacks, affordance, and consistency. There are feedbacks, affordance, and consistency. You know, what's feedback? Feedback keeps users informed. It keeps users informed. It keeps users informed. You understand? User need to know if the action was successful or not. Just like I explained earlier, feedback is how the system responds to their actions. Good feedback reduces confusion and makes users feel in control. You understand? One thing about users, why using a product, that they want to feel in control. You understand? They want to feel that okay, I'm the one doing this, I'm the one going through this flow. You understand? So it gives them that confidence. It makes them relax while using your product. Do you understand? So once they are clicking an action and a feedback is coming up, so it makes them feel comfortable. It makes them feel like okay, I'm in control of a product. But in a situation whereby they are clicking, they just made a payment, and there was no a confirmation page for their payment, it feels that it makes them stuck and confused. To understand, they're like, okay, is this payment successful or not? We leave them confused. So one of the key principles is feedbacks. So these are the things you need to work on while building or designing your product. You understand? So example of a good feedback is clicking a button, the button changes color or shows a loading spinner. You understand? Whereby you click a button and before the action pops up, there's a kind of loading spinner to let them know that okay, something is going on, something is in process, something is in progress. Do you understand? So it's part of interaction design. As a product designer or UX designer, these are things that you need to take note. You understand? Not a situation whereby a user clicks a button and it's taking forever to load. It's taking forever to load, and there's nothing giving them that clue that something is going on. You understand? So another example of a good feedback is filling a form. A check mark appears if the input is correct, or an error message appears if there is a mistake. You understand? When you want to input, when you are filling when you want to log in into an app, and you want to input your password, you understand? And you know that there has been a kind of a label showing you that the password must have a kind of a special characters, one uppercase, one lowercase, and numbers like that. Do you understand? So when you input something that is outside that, there should be a kind of error message indicating that so message, the password is blah 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 blah. You understand? So that's part of the work of an interaction designer. Do you understand? So another example of a good feedback is submitting um just like I said, when you are submitting a a form, a confirmation message appears saying your transaction has been successful. Do you understand? You are filling a kind of, let's say, please do confirm if you can hear me. All right. So you are filling a form, and a confirmation message appears saying your transaction has been successful. Saying your transaction has been successful. So that's part of a good feedback. Do you understand? Or either way, that the transaction is unsuccessful. It's part of a good feedback. So example of a bad feedback, you click submit, but nothing's happened. Do you understand? You don't know if it's worked or not. Do you understand? You leave the user confused. Do you understand? So it makes them frustrated. A form rejects your input but doesn't explain the reason for the rejection. So you leave the user wondering, or like wondering why it's being rejected or why it's unsuccessful. So are we together? So another key principle is the affordance. So makes action obvious. So affordance is all about making your action obvious. Affordance means designing elements so users instantly understand what they do. Do you understand? It makes users understand that what they are doing on your product. So good affordance makes it clear what users can do. A button like a submit button. So it makes it clear. Okay, this button is for me to what? Is for me to what? To submit. You understand? A button looks like a button. You understand? Whether you are the user is using your product and the button is not clear to know that, okay, this is a button. The button is not different from the text, the body text. So it leaves users confused and frustrated. They don't know if they should click on it or not. Do you understand? So it needs to be clear. If it's a text button, it has to be of a different feel and shows that it's a button. Do you understand? So another example of a good feedback, a button looks like a button raised and clickable. A text feed has in a blinking cursor, so users know they can type. Do you understand? It makes it look like, okay, this is a text field. Do you understand? It's not just a frame or a rectangle. Do you understand? You have to let them know that, okay, this is a text field, and by that is use making the text with a blink as a blinking cursor. You understand? So another one is a slider having an out showing users they can drag it. They can drag a slider either whereby you have a different set of frames and been scrolling horizontally, and she showing a kind of an indicator that, okay, they can slide the frames. Let's look at this as a case study, and I have multiple of these things. I want to slide horizontally, and there's an indicator here showing that okay, we have 5 slides, and you just need to show that okay, they can scroll the slide. Do you understand? So example of a bad affordance. A clickable link looks like normal text. That's a bad affordance. Do you understand? When a clickable link, a link that's supposed to click, looks like a normal text. Do you understand? Just like probably you're reading you're on a news application, and you want to read, there's a button for read more, but the read more button is looking like the normal text you've been reading from the top. Do you understand? So it leaves you frustrated or confused. Do you understand? Once you're confused, frustration will set in, and you have to what, drop off. Do you understand? So a clickable link looks like a normal text. Users soon know they can click it. Another bad example of a bad affordance is a button doesn't look like a button. It's just a what? A plain text. So good affordance makes it clear what users can do. So you have to take note when designing or building your products. So the last key principles of this interaction design is consistency. Consistency. So consistency, as the principle of design, the principle of interaction design makes your what? Makes your elements predictable. It makes your product predictable. Consistency means using the same design patterns so users don't get confused. So when once they are landing on your page or your app, throughout their interaction with your app, they know that okay, this is a submit button. This is an what's it called? This is an error message. This thing. So it makes it consistency. It makes it consistent. Do you understand? It makes it predictable and easier to learn. So an example of a good consistency is all buttons on the website have the same shape and color. Do you understand? It's not as if on the sign up page you are having a rounded buttons, and on maybe on another page they're having a kind of unrounded buttons. So all this inconsistency is bad for your design. Another good example of consistency is error messages always appear in the same format and position. Do you understand? Error message appear in the same format and position. So the other one is the features works the same way across different pages. The feature working the same way across different pages. So let's move to the bad example of the bad consistency. On one page, the apply button is blue, but on another page, it's red. So it's inconsistent. It's inconsistent. So you need to take notes. Another one is sometimes clicking a button submits a form. After times, it does nothing. So when a user clicks a button in one page, it submits a form, and when they click the same button in another thing, it's doing another, is static. So it's one bad example of consistency. So we need to take note of that. So let's move to micro interactions, what they are and why they matter. Micro interactions, what they are and why they matter. So what are micro interactions? Micro interactions are small and subtle animations or responses that happen when user interacts with a product. There are some subtle animations when you interact with a product. You understand? So they provide feedbacks, enhances user experience, and make interaction feel alive. So that's the work of all these micro interactions in the product. It makes your interaction or your user experience feel alive. You understand? So they are just the tiny details that improve usability and delight users. You understand? So example of micro interactions in your everyday life or your interactions with products. So liking a post on social media, when you like a post on social media, just like Facebook, when you are on Facebook and you click the like button and you see something that popped out. You see some what's it called? Some features that just features that pops out like love, like ads, something like that. So that's the way it pops out. That's software animation uh pops out. That makes it what it makes your experience enjoyable. It makes it alive. Do you understand? So that's the work of a software interaction or animation in design or product development. You understand? So another one is the pulling to refresh an app. Pulling to refresh an app. Please give me a second. All right, pulling to refresh an app. So when you are interacting with a product, either app or website, whereby you have to pull down to refresh uh, um, the site on your phone or website, whereby you have to click on the refresh icon to refresh your app. So it has to show you that okay, something is loading, something is coming up. Do you understand? So that loading spinner appears. Do you understand? That's one of the micro interactions. Do you understand? Typing, another one is typing a password. The system shows a caps lock on one if needed. Do you understand? Whereby you want to type a password and your caps lock is on. There has to be an indication that okay, the caps lock is on. Now you have to put it off somehow. That's if the password requires no caps lock. Do you understand? So these are micro interaction using a product. So another one is the loading progress bar. The loading progress bar. When you're interacting with your product and you click on the button and it gives you a feel that okay, something is loading or giving you a count like 80% loading, 20% loading. That thing is one of the micro interaction in design. You understand? So why do micro interactions matters in design? Why micro interaction matter in design? So basically, it provides feedbacks. It provides feedback. Let users know that their action worked. You understand? A button changes when it's clicked, when it's being clicked, and a page coming up. You understand? When you click just like the example I gave you, like you click a like button on a post on on Facebook, and it kind of a love pops up for you to select on. You understand? So another reason why it matters is it guides users, help users understand what's happening, like a progress bar and a two tips. Do you understand? So all these things guides users on what they are doing on your application. So it makes the user interface feels responsive. Small animations make the products feel interactive and modern. You know, just like the example I gave earlier, when you click on it, something pop-ups. So it makes users feel alive. It makes the experience feel alive. Do you understand? And it enhances user engagement. It enhances user engagement. A well-designed micro interaction makes the experience more enjoyable. It makes the experience more enjoyable. So these are the reasons why micro interaction matters a lot in what in design. So do you get it? All right. So I want you to understand why using animations or interactions in your designs. You understand? You have to keep it smooth and fast. You have to use animations sparingly. Don't just use animations on your product everywhere. You understand? So that it will not slow down the experience of the users. Too much animations makes the experience slow. Do you understand? It's fast. It makes websites slow. Do you understand? Too much of animations, and it causes distractions. Do you understand? Too much of it causes distractions. So, and you have to make sure that they match the brand style. You understand? Make sure they excuse me. Make sure they match the brand's styles. You know, make the animation smooth, elegant effect for maybe you are designing for a kind of a fintech app. You have to make it smooth, elegant, and make it affect the financial platform you are designing for. You understand? So so that's all about micro interactions. That's all about the basic knowledge of interaction design. Basic knowledge of interaction design. So it just has to do with you making your products enjoyable, intuitive, and desirable with your micro interactions and animations. Do you understand? Making sure that users have a good feedbacks. Do you understand? So basically, the three key principles of interaction design: the feedbacks, affordance, and consistency. Once you these three principles, then you are on the right path. Your product is on the right path to what? To being a good product, to be a desirable product, to be an enjoyable product. So here comes to the end of the class. So, but let me quickly make a kind of uh, so basically interaction design is majorly on your majorly on your prototyping. Do you understand? It's majorly on your prototyping. So it's majorly on your prototyping. So you have to know how to use your you have to know your prototyping very well. At least have a basic understanding of it. And I believe there was a class on that, and I think there's another class on that coming up. Yeah, your committee manager will tell you more about that. So you have to take the class very serious because it has to do with the interaction of your product. It has to do with the interaction of your product. So I just want to run you through um, the practical aspect of what I just discussed. Please do confirm you can see my screen. All right, thank you. So here we have the prototype settings here. So here you can select device you want to use to preview as in your mockup or to use to preview your settings. So it depends on the device you are using. It depends on the device you are designing for. So if you are designing for websites, you have your this thing here. If you are designing for a TV device, you have the TV device here. You have the custom size here, whereby you just put in whatever you want to design. This for presentation, this for iOS devices, and we have for